Hi, I'm Paul Germain, and welcome to another session of Smart Boating. As you know, if you watched the show before, we cover a wide variety of topics from anchoring to marine electronics. And the whole idea is to provide you with some information that will help you make smarter decisions and have more fun on the water. Every now and then, though, we take a little side trip, and that's the case today, and we're going to look at Maine lobster boat races. We've got a pretty knowledgeable guy in that area joining us today. His name is John Johansson. John, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, we got a cool show here today. I think people are really going to enjoy it. But before we get into it, can you share a little bit about your boating background and your involvement in the marine industry?
Yeah, my boating background goes to back when I was a kid. I grew up next to a boatyard. Then I went to Maine when I was in prep school and stayed in Maine. And I started my own paper in 1987, so it's been going, 39 years, whatever. And so I cover all kinds of aspects, but mostly it's commercial.
Okay.
And one of the first things I learned on the coast of Maine that was very, very popular was Maine lobster boat racing.
Really? That's very interesting. So you've been around it for a while.
1988 was my first race in Jonesport.
Right. Okay. Well, that's funny. People around here are pretty familiar with lobster boats. We're
Right.
here north of Boston, so the lobster boat is pretty well known, but lobster boat races are not. Can you give us a little bit of background in terms of when it started and why? Just a brief overview.
Well, like I told you early that Henry Ford said that his auto racing started 10 seconds after the second car rolled off the assembly line.
Yeah.
And he's probably close to being right. And
Yeah.
if you want to chase back the history of lobster boat racing, you got to go back to 1899 because there's a trophy on Beale's Island that Robert Beale has from his great-great-grandfather as they raced Friendship sloops.
We've got a number of different photographs here today. We'll see how many we can get through to show off some of the classes.
So
and
this here,
locations.
what you're seeing is part of the spectator fleet. And I didn't tell you, but we have 11 races.
Yep.
So we start in Booth Bay on Father's Day weekend. It's on Saturday. Then the next day on Father's Day, we're in Rockland. Then the next race is in Bass Harbor, which is on Mount Desert Island. Then we go to Jonesport, which is the home of lobster boat racing, where you can only have the world's fastest there.
Okay.
I don't think it's trademarked, but they claim that you can have it.
it.
So then we go from there to Stonington, which is one of the bigger races. They'll get 125 boats easy every year. Wow. Then we go from there to Friendship, then to Harpswell, then to Winter Harbor, which is also another big place because they usually give a big prize out.
Okay.
Then they go to Pemaquid, which is a non-points race. It's the only non-points race. So the classes are a little different.
Okay.
So that means different people are racing different people, which is great. They have a great time doing it. And then the last two races of the year are the third weekend in August, where we race at Long Island, which is off Portland, and at Portland off Munjoy Hill.
Okay. All right. So quite a schedule there. Now you've got some pictures of some.
So these are these are spectator fleets.
Yeah.
And most of them are racers.
Oh, okay.
And you have to be careful which boat you are on because you call this smart boating because some of these are dangerous big party boats.
Oh, okay.
I mean, some of them will stay out there all night long and you don't want to know what goes on board.
No, I don't. Now we've got, I think, a picture. Now this is one of the classes.
This is the first class of the day. So now we're in workboat class A. This is for boats under, like I said, 24 feet, up to 30 horsepower, but the person has to be under 18.
I see.
Some of them say 16.
Yep.
But whatever the venue wants. And so this is Nugget. It's a Holland 14 with a 30 horsepower Yamaha.
Okay.
And this is our youngest racer ever.
Okay.
And I believe the child was 4 months old.
That is young. Yes, yes.
So, and that's Justin Papke with his, I guess it's his son. I would say so. It's in blue.
Yeah.
So then you go up into the same class, in Class A. This is a kid from Islesboro who borrowed a boat at Long Island last year, because these are all photos from last year's racing. So this boat, he was the first one over the line.
Yeah, looks like an little aluminum.
Yeah,
skiff.
it was at Stevie Johnson's boatyard. So And then this is in Jonesport. This is Alpex, Ray Davis. Anyways, and he has not lost in like 25 years.
Wow.
And so he is averaging in this class. This class is 30 to 90 horsepower, and he claims to have a 90 horsepower, and he's probably doing around 43 miles an hour.
Clipping right along.
Oh yeah. And then we go to some crazies.
Yeah.
And this was at Harpswell last year. It was blowing a little bit out of the north, so we had some nice little chop running.
Yeah.
And these guys don't know how to pull back on the throttle. We have had boats flip in these classes.
Yeah.
And so this is a whaler, probably doing in the low 40s, maybe mid 40s. What's interesting about this guy, any of the boaters that know AJA Career, the jeweler that does nautical jewelry, well, that's the guy that runs the company.
Oh, is that right?
That's Andy Career.
Okay.
And this is a whole group of these guys. There was Zippin and Zippa, but this is also in Class B, up to 90 horsepower.
Okay.
And they're using a Corson, which is an old design from the lake regions in Maine. And they were a very popular boat. And even today, you can find them because fiberglass boats don't go away.
Right.
So basically, you can find these boats in the woods, and they get resurrected all the time. And then some people just bring anything they want.
Bring what you got.
So this guy actually comes from New Hampshire, but he has a home on Peaks Island, and he brought this to Booth Bay last year, which was a little tug that his wife thought would be kind of cute to do.
Yeah.
This is a real, and some of them are real workboats. This is a real workboat.
Okay.
This one's Daddy didn't buy it. I'm not sure whose hull it is. It might be a Passamaquoddy hull. But he's probably got
big Yamaha on there.
Yeah, and it's probably, they go from 90 up.
Okay.
Well, you can bet that that's way up.
Yeah.
That's probably close to 200 plus horsepower on this boat. So then, well, his Casco Miss, this is another one. This is actually the start boat. He does a lot of the starting at the races because he's done it so often.
Yeah.
So how a start works, we probably should do that because it would be helpful. Because we had the Coast Guard come one time and do it in Friendship and really got in trouble.
Yeah.
So what this one does is we start at a slow pace and we pick up the pace. We hope all of them, we try to line up all their bows as best we can and we drop a flag.
Yeah. Yep.
But the Coast Guard came to the line and said, on your mark, get set, go. And you should have heard the screaming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, this guy really knows what he's doing. This is Dave Johnston.
Okay.
So we do not usually have recreational boats at all.
Right.
But in Jonesport, they allow a few boats to come down the course. It's not a sanctioned race. And these boats are probably doing anywhere between 90 and 100 miles an hour.
Oh, I believe it, yeah.
And I have this boat in the air with its the guy that's running it, which is Alton Smith, in the air, and he looks like a star because both of his legs are out and his arms are out.
Really? Wow.
And he said he only hurt for 2 weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
Which, okay.
Yeah.
Now we're in the gas classes. There's 5 gas classes. Unfortunately, gasoline is no longer the premier fuel for lobstering.
Right.
It's all diesels.
Right.
So this boat here is a Duffy 26 with a great big, probably 350 Chevy in it. He's in what we call Class C.
Okay.
Class A is 4 to 6 cylinders, and then above that is the 8 cylinders. But like I said, there's not very many boats in this class. Now the ones, what we get is the funny boats. This one here is a very interesting boat. This boat, there was a boat years and years ago called Crybaby, and it was built by 2 guys out of Lewiston, Auburn, which of course isn't anywhere near water. But they came to the races, looked at the boats, took what they liked, and built a boat by themselves and powered it with a 6-cylinder Chevy with a rear view mirror. And the rear view mirror, that was to look at the V8s behind them because they were a straight 6.
Wow.
So this boat, unfortunately, their age got to them. They're over 80 now. And they sold it to Steve White at Brooklyn Boatyard. And Steve White finished the boat off. And this is now called Rip Snorter. And she comes to the Stonington races.
Okay.
And I think she got a big write-up in the last issue of Maine Boats, Homes, and Harbors. So I know they took some of my photographs. This is a famous boat. This one is the boat that holds the record for the gasoline classes at 72.8, I believe. Don't hold me to that.
Right.
And this is Galen Alley's boat. And it's a splash of the old Lena Fay. One of the, anyways, it was a Riley Beale built boat back in the 70s.
Oh.
And so light that you and I could actually pick this boat up.
Really?
Yeah. And scary horsepower. This is a Sisu 26. This is owned by Stevie Johnson out of Long Island. And she's got great big Chevy power in it, over 600 cubic inches. But unfortunately not doing as well as this boat, which is a Holland 32 with another monster engine in it. And these boats are probably running close to 60 miles an hour.
Wow, that's fast enough.
Yeah.
Especially that type of hull.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so this is Black Diamond. It's a Holland 32, like I said. And I believe it's got a 632 cubic inch engine in her. And unfortunately, here's how close the races can be.
Yes.
This is actually at a finish line. This is at Long Island. This is the only race that these two boats actually competed in together. And you're very close to the finish line because I think to the right of the screen is the ferry dock.
Okay.
And that's where we were using as a finish line. Black Diamond won all of the races that day. But this is the downfall of racing. This is an actual, what we heard was a kind of a pop.
Yeah.
And the motor had blown the holes in both sides where they had used the engine mounts. And I was told later that you shouldn't put the engine mounts welded to the actual engine. There's other ways to actually bolt the engine in, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So basically that engine is toast and being replaced. And that can cost you anywhere between $50,000 and $100,000+ if you think of it.
Yeah.
So now we're in the diesel classes, and again, it goes with size of motor. This is a Class A boat. This is a Calvin Beale Design 28, and it's called Captain M. And he was the winner of the diesel class this year.
That's a 28-footer, you say?
Yep.
It's a
and
big,
it's probably
28.
yeah, and it's got a lot of power. And here she is racing Merganza, which is a 1977 Calvin Beale wooden boat. And probably has a little more horsepower, but be careful with lobster boat racing and horsepowers. We were at an awards banquet, which happens at the end of every year.
Yeah.
And somebody got up before the awards were handed out and said, everybody here is only here because they cheated. And the whole crowd cheered. So you can guess that some of these engines are turned up, but you can't police it because you're not putting hands on anybody's motor.
Right.
Because if something happens to it 2 days later, you know who's getting blamed.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not paying for a $150,000 engine.
No, I don't blame you.
So, but it's, if you need to cheat to win a $50 trophy at the end of the year, go for it.
Okay.
And here is the next class up, which is Class B. And the
Is
boat,
that a bigger boat or a bigger engine?
it's a bigger engine, same horsepower.
I see.
But they don't seem to be going quite as fast, do
No, they don't.
But one is Shockwave. That's our old Harold Gower boat. That was the Cadillac back in the 40s, 50s. If you wanted a really nice wooden lobster boat, you went to Harold Gower.
Okay.
And he was from Beale's Island. And this is another Calvin Beale here. That's called Seagirl. And this one here, I'm sorry, I don't know the make of that one. But another small boat. But he's in the next class up. Big Cummins engine. And he was easily the winner. This is Mike Gillespie. He's from Wiscasset, and he's an engine and transmission guy. So he knows how to play with the motor and get the most out of it.
Right. What do you suppose he's doing?
He's probably doing in the
30 knots, 35 knots?
Yeah. So not too bad. And these are the Libby boys. Now the Libby boys, for those who really get into lobster boats and that sort of stuff, that was Nerney Libby. This is his grandsons and his son. And he was a designer for the Young brothers originally. He built his own wooden lobster boats, and then he designed the fiberglass boats for the Young brothers. And these are the kids now playing, because he went out after Young brothers stopped producing their boats. Nerney went out and actually did his own hulls. So these are either a 35 or a 38. And then there's the 41s now, the Libby 41s and 47s.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and these two are interesting because they basically swap back and forth. Whoever got the jump on the line.
Is that right? They're that close, huh?
Yeah, they're the winners.
Wow. And these are swinging 3-blade props, 4-blade props?
Mostly, both, either way. They can go 3. Yeah. This is the winner. This is Whiskey Girl. She won Class D. This is a kid out of Harpswell. And usually it's smoking a lot so that you can really tell.
How many foot is that? Like
Yeah.
20, high 20s?
I can't remember exactly how many. She's probably 30, 32. And I can't remember what hull it is. This is another Holland 32, which is Audrey May, racing high voltage. And these are close races and always are between these two boats. This is at Jonesport last year. And, you're finishing in with, a half a boat length?
Right. How long is the course?
This one, the courses usually are about a mile long. There's some that are shorter, but not by much, maybe 3/4 of a mile.
Is that a straight line or
straight
oval?
line. Straight line.
Yep.
Used to be oval until what? And boat yards loved it because they make you run around a pin.
Yeah.
And do you think they gave room at the pin?
Right.
No.
Right.
And there was a lot of damage, and that's why boat yards loved that race.
I see.
And here's Audrey May, and that's Guilty Pleasure back there. She's a 35 Mitchell Cove. And to the right is a boat called Wilbur, which is another 32 Holland. Apparently not as much power as the other ones. Now in Diesel Class F, we're going up in horsepower. This is a boat from New Hampshire. This is Miss Rose. This is Ed Terosian's boat.
It's a big boat. How many?
Yeah, 35.
Foot is it? 35?
This is 35
It's a
Mitchell
big
Cove.
beamy for 35 too. Yeah.
Good fishing boat, very popular boat in Maine.
What kind of power would that be
You're
carrying?
probably around 500. And the boat that you had to beat in this class was Faith Millay, which is a guy that comes out of Jonesport, Beals Island.
Now, what makes him fast? The engine or the hull
engine.
design? Or
The engine. That's a Libby hull. So, and then over here we've got Sunshine Chalet, which is just to the right. That was a gift. That was one of the prizes at the Winter Harbor Lobster Boat races one year. So that boat there is now a lobster boat, and he comes every year and races. The other boat that we used to see a lot was Mr. Lucky. Unfortunately, he passed away last winter. And so the boat didn't make, I think the boat did race, but he wasn't with it. And this is split second. Now we're into Class G. Again, more horsepower. Again, 500 to 600 horsepower. This is this is David Osgood from Vinyl Haven.
Now, do they swap the engines out? They use one engine for day-to-day lobstering and another engine for races?
These are really
This is what they
boats.
use every day.
Yeah. Very few of the lobster boat racing and the diesel classes are fun boats. These are all serious. These are guys that actually fish all the time. This one here is My Turn. This is I believe it's a 32 Wayne Beale, and that's one of the boats to beat in Class G. This is a Holland 35, the only Holland 35 ever built, and doesn't have as much power, but a very competitive boat, and the owner absolutely loves the design of the boat. And then we've got the last race of the year where you can see My Turn to your left, and this is Rijo, which is one of the old boats, and it was called Venom back in the old days. Big power, and probably shouldn't be in this class. It should be in another one. But since both of them are probably equally pushed, you probably got to. And as you can see, it's a pretty close race because I'm on the finish line when I'm shooting these.
Oh yeah.
So this one here, we're in Class H. This is is this an Osmond? This is a boat that's owned by Willie Coombs out of Millbridge. And he's been the winner of Class H for years. And the third place goes to Fallen Angel, which comes out of Stonington. And usually second place goes to this boat here. And I'll say that this boat here has a Sisu engine that comes out of Finland. And one time he came to the dock and asked if it was bad if green stuff came out of the engine.
Yeah.
Well, that's your antifreeze.
Yes.
He did make it home. And this year at Long Island, he dropped a valve and still we had to sail 80 miles back to Searsport. So
Wow.
that's a pretty stout engine.
That is a stout engine.
Now here's one of the ones that we have some real grudge matches inside lobster boat racing where you toss a coin. Well, usually Misty, which is the boat that's actually leading this race, and Little Lisa Marie are always close together. And you can see this is a finish at Friendship.
Yeah.
Well, this year Misty actually won the trophy. And you can also see there's a for sale sign on Little Lisa Marie because his wife gave him permission that if he sold the boat, he can build another one.
Ah.
And this one here, for those that had followed lobster boat racing for the past, probably 7 years, there was a boat called Gold Digger owned by Heather Thompson. Well, Gold Digger got sold and now it's become Jackpot, and this is her.
Okay.
And she was always one of the top racers in Class J,
Really?
which is around 600 and something horsepower.
Oh, yeah.
Now we have some that are in the races that just move water.
Yeah.
This is a great big Novi.
Yeah.
A lot of guys like these for dragging, that sort of stuff.
Yes.
And some of them actually use it for lobster boat racing. And what you do at a race like this is at Winter Harbor, you want your name inside the hat drawing, because if they're giving a hull away, which is probably valued at $30,000 to $50,000,
Yeah.
this is your chance. So just put your boat in,
Yeah.
$20.
Why not?
That's right.
Right.
This one's Mean Kathleen. We've never asked him why he calls it Mean Kathleen, but his wife's name's not Kathleen, so we're not sure. But that was the top boat in diesel class K.
Okay.
And then this boat here is this is an actually 10-year-old boat.
Wow.
This is Jeff Eaton's boat. He's a boat builder on Deer Isle, and it's called La Bella Vita. It's a Northern Bay 38 powered with an 815 horsepower FTP. And there's 3 of them. And it's funny because they're close, but and sometimes there's little subtle differences underneath where you put your rails, that sort of stuff.
Right,
and some of these guys go to the nth degree trying to figure out where the best place to place those rails are.
Oh, yeah.
So, but this boat is always one of the top boats, and he goes to every race because he runs the Stonington races, so he goes and supports. This is him racing Shooting Star, which is the old Motivation, which was a very fast boat, but it doesn't have the same engine. And then, for those that knew lobster boat racing, the inside boat, which is called Witching Hour, I think is what it says.
Okay.
But that is the old Uncle's UFO. That's the Northern Bay 36, one of the first ones. And that was Andy Go's boat. And now it's Nick Weberg's boat. And you can see how close this is. And I'm about 1/3 of the way up the course.
Yeah.
And I do that because then the boats are close together. This is at Stonington. And then we've got one of the Motivations. This one was sold. This is a Starlight. And then my biggest blunder of the year is coming up. This is La Bella Vita racing Blue Eyed Girl. These 2 boats are the same power.
Oh, okay. Oh, they look very close.
They are, but then all of a sudden Blue Eyed Girl will go away from you.
Oh.
This is my biggest blunder of the year, this one here. This one I called the wrong one the winner. Well, you look at them.
Okay.
You look at them. The only difference is the number of windows in it. They're the same paint scheme.
Yes.
And if side 2, they look exactly
They
the
look
same.
identical, yeah.
And so what I had to do that night is go home, eat crow, and look on the computer screen where I could blow up the names.
Yeah.
And then posted it on Facebook of how I blew the call.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which, at least got me thinking. Well, and now we're into the upper classes. So most of those boats were all under 40 feet. You can't, usually if you're over 40 feet, we put you in another class, which is the either M, N classes. So this is an M class A. These are up to 500 horsepower. This is pull and pray. Real work boat, as you can see, with all the gear for hauling and dragging and stuff. And then he always races Sea Urchin, which is the old Queen Deanna. This is the first Young Brothers 45 that was ever built. This was Avery Kelly's boat. And so he was actually the top winner this year in Class A. And then, this is another one, but this is one of the boats that normally used to race in Class A, but only raced this year, and doesn't have the same kind of horsepower now as it used to have. And then this is Designer's daughter. This is because he's married to Willis Beale's daughter. And Willis Beale designed this boat and built it. This is an RP40. So, and it's powered probably with a 500 horsepower engine and stuff. So, but
Well, we only got a couple more minutes
yep,
here.
I see that. So
Where's-
we're almost done.
Yeah.
We're now down to this is Class A winner this year. This was the brand new Libby 41 that came out, new mold, and competed very well. But this is a Libby mold.
Libby.
So, and that was the winner. Now, these two boats are another one that is kind of a grudge match. They're always close, but always the blue boat, which is Eric Beale's boat out of Millbridge. That's a Calvin 42. And the boat next to it is a Morgan Bay 43. So they usually finish just like this. Very rarely does Alexa Rose win. This is another boat that was actually competing with those, but this is Master Mason. And I believe that's a South Shore 42 now, which is basically an extended 38 South Shore, which is a Calvin design. And this is another 42 Calvin, which is called 5 Stars. And if you look, he actually uses a riding sail, which very few lobster fishermen still use.
Right.
This was another grudge match, and this one here ended up in a tie. Both of them had won 5 races.
Wow.
So this is Obsession, which is a Young Brothers 40, and Natalie E., which is a Libby mold. Both of them powered over 1,000 horsepower.
Wow.
And this is the last class of the M class, N class, I mean. So this is NB. And 4 Girls is a Westmac 46. Beautiful boat, well done. But next year he's going to come out with a bigger boat. He's got a Morgan Bay 43 with a 1,700 horsepower man.
Wow.
And the rumor is, out of the box, he should be able to do 50 miles an hour. And then we'll skip this one. This is Size Matter, and size does matter. This is the biggest boat that we get, which is a Westmac 50. And but this is the last class. This is Class O. This is basically, and the wooden boats. We'll call this all one. This is a Peter Cass boat. This is Sharianne 1. Vance Bunker's old boat, who fished off of Matinicus for years. And this is at Rockland with the Rockland breakwater in the background. And very few boats are in this one because this one is not for fishermen. This is for basically recreational lobster boats.
Right.
This boat actually can fish. It has fished recently because I let people borrow it.
Do we have a couple more?
We got one more.
One more.
And this is the wooden lobster boats. This is 2 Peter Cass boats. This is Alan Dugas, owner of Royal River Boatyard up in Yarmouth. Very, very good boatyard. And this is my wife's boat, which is Sharianne. This is the final race of the thing. And then the other boat, this is a race that we do if somebody passes away at over the winter. We do a tribute to them at Winter Harbor or any of the other ones. And the final picture is an upset. This took place at Long Island, and the father is in Jabberwock or whatever he wants to call the boat. So basically it's a conglomeration of the kids' names.
Yeah.
And this is his son in the foreground in the little boat taking the top prize away from Dad. And this is actually Jake Dugas from Royal River Boatyard, who does fabrication, and he's bringing up 3rd.
Yeah, well, that's an exciting race there.
Yeah, and then the other ones that we didn't talk about was the free-for-alls, but that's just a conglomeration of the other boats. You can have your gasoline free-for-all, diesel free-for-all, and then fastest lobster boat.
Okay, all right. Well, good. Well, we covered a lot of
stuff in no time.
Racing lobster boats pretty quickly. Very, very interesting. Is there anything you want to add before we...
No, we actually had a boat last year. In fact, it was at Long Island that came from Gloucester.
Oh.
And he asked about putting a race together in Gloucester.
All right.
And we said we could do it.
So maybe there's some hope for some local racing.
Yeah, and what we'd like to do is see it done for like a nonprofit.
Yeah. No, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you for joining me today.
No problem.
And thank you, boaters, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any comments or questions, please visit us at www.smartboatingus.com. Thank you.